Hello, everybody. Welcome to Global Hack Week. This is our Cloud Week in March 2026, and welcome to my session. This is going to be the part one of the three-part series, OpenClaw in the Cloud. Drop me a lobster emoji in the chat if you're here with me. And let me actually switch over to this layout so that you can see the screen a little bit better. And be sure to check in to the event. I will send the check-in link one more time. Here you go. So make sure you check into the event to get your Global Hack Week points. And if you come to some of the live streams, you'll also get bonus swag in the mail. So definitely would love to get that sent out. And thank you everybody for sending in the lobster emojis. Good to see it. All right. So how many of you have heard of OpenClaw? If you haven't, this is a very, very good initial beginner-friendly session. I'm going to introduce you to OpenClaw. So OpenClaw is the AI that actually does things. Let's kind of go through this official website here and take a look together. So we have OpenClaw. Some of the things it can do, it can actually look into your inbox, clears your inbox, sends emails, manages your calendar, check you in for flights. And you can also interact with it from all kinds of messaging tools they call channels. So WhatsApp, Telegram, or our favorite Discord. So today we're actually going to be dive into setting up OpenClaw on the cloud or self-hosted on your local device. And we'll have a working AI at the end of the session. So with that, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Wei, a coach here at Major League Hacking. And a fun fact about me is I'm a contributor to OpenClaw now. I have a contributor badge because I made a pull request to OpenClaw to improve their Discord experience. So feel free to check me out on the OpenClaw repository. And just another reminder to please check into this event. We want to make sure everyone gets their points. So some of you said you've heard of OpenClaw, but you haven't used it. So this is great time for you to kind of follow along and get your hands dirty a little bit. With that, I'm going to switch over the banner on the bottom to ask me any questions in chat. So this is an interactive session. If you have any questions whatsoever throughout, please hit me up in the chat and I will respond. Crackers, thank you. It's I only had one pull request so far. I might need to, really step up my game there and put more contributions in. But I'm pretty proud of that one contribution. Minimum specs for local OpenClaw deployment. So there are two components to the OpenClaw deployment. Let's actually take a look at their official website, see if they have anything they recommend. All right, so they have very, very detailed documentation here. Let's take a quick look at their getting started guide. I'll just give you a quick overview since we're just starting out the session. I highly recommend as much RAM as possible, like as you have. I would recommend at least 4 gigabytes of RAM if possible for local deployment. But there's also another piece of it, which is the large language model. If you're going to use the commercial public APIs, then you wouldn't have to host any of the models yourself. if you want to host models yourself, you'll require a lot more resources, if that makes sense. So thank you so much for that question. Is it safe? I have not used it. It is risky. It depends on all the security measures that you impose on it. It is as safe as the permissions you give it. We'll go into the details of security towards the end. All right. Keep the questions coming. Thank you so much. And what we're experimenting today is installing OpenClaw, as I mentioned. We will first try to install OpenClaw on a cloud virtual private server. You can use any cloud provider whatsoever, but we're going to use Vultr because they're giving us free credits for Global Hack Week to use and experiment with. And you can also install it locally on your computer. And the instructions I'll give you will work for both cloud and local installation. I'll first show you a very nice and easy template that Vultr has provided for us to spin up a OpenClaw very easily. And then I'm going to show you how to install it by basically step by step, following the official getting started guide, so you can do it on any virtual private server and you have full control. So that's what we're going to focus on today. And we have a couple more questions in chat. Completely beginner. This is completely A-okay. We welcome complete beginners. This session is beginner friendly. We're going to show you a easy way of deploying using Vultr and then more advanced way of self-hosting and deploying manually using the getting started guide from the official guide, so you have the most control. So you can pick which method suits you. And you can always rewatch this recording after the session to follow step by step if you missed anything. And another question in chat. I'm a sophomore and AI ML enthusiast. And how is OpenClaw useful to me? All right. So this is so useful because traditionally when you're interacting with AI and ML, it has to be through like a, for example, ChatGPT interface or Gemini chat interface. You're sending it a message, you're getting something back, you can tweak it, you can do that, all that. And some people are using command line tools like Claude Code or Gemini CLI to interact with large language models to help work on their projects and things like that. And OpenClaw goes a step further. So OpenClaw actually integrates with any chat app. So you can work with any of these chat apps, as you can see here. And you can just be on your phone and chat with it to do work for you. Whereas if you're just chatting with ChatGPT, you're just getting a text response back. It's not taking any action by default. So this has full control. It can do, OpenClaw can do everything you can do in front of a computer, if that makes sense. So thank you for that question. How is it different than NAN? Yeah, NAN is another great tool. Let's just go to their website real quick. NAN is a great tool to create structured, predefined workflows, whereas OpenClaw is more free-form. So you can ask anything you want, whereas NAN is like, oh, I have pre-created this workflow, execute it for me, and NAN is perfect for that. So different purposes and different use cases, if that makes sense. All right. Looks like questions died down a little bit, so we can go ahead and continue. Feel free to keep them coming. And here is our session plan of the day. We just did a very brief intro to OpenClaw. We're going to try out the one-click setup feature on Vultr. And then we're going to do a step-by-step tutorial to self-host it. And we're still going to be using Vultr, but not using their one-click option, so that the step-by-step instructions can be transferable to any host or your local computer. So I highly recommend, if you're doing a local installation, use a computer that you can keep on 24/7, maybe an old laptop or another device that you can just plug it in and keep running 24/7. That's kind of the advantage of OpenClaw, is it running in the background. But you can also use cloud servers. There are some free and options, especially with Vultr this weekend. And then I'm going to dive into some free large language models APIs you can use. We'll show you some of the models on Vultr, serverless inference, and we're also going to be showing you some of the free models on OpenRouter that you can use as well. And then lastly, we'll do our initial OpenClaw setup. Depending on how far we go, we have 2 sessions today. One is right now, and if you look on the schedule, ghw.mlh.io, you will actually see the part 2 as well. So we're right here, OpenClaw in the cloud, right? And then we're going to head over to day 2, and that's where you will see the OpenClaw in the cloud part 2. That's 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, in about 3 hours here. We have our second session. So feel free to follow along for both sessions. Now, back to a question in chat. It is open source, so locally works without cost, but the integration costs. Exactly. So when you're running locally, you just pay for electricity for the most part for your computer to be on. And then for the large language models, it needs basically the brain and the intelligence of the OpenClaw installation. There will be some costs, but I'm going to show you some free options here. That's our step 4 of our session plan. Another question here, can I use it through Anti-Gravity or GitHub Copilot Student Developer Pack? So we'll jump into that in the later segment, but it is against the terms of service to use them. It is possible, but it's against the terms of service. That's the short answer here. All right. With that, let's jump right in to our step 2 of our session plan. That is one-click setup on Vultr. So yesterday, I actually attended this amazing session by Myrtle from Vultr, and he showed us the Vultr platform and gave everybody free credits. So if you want to kind of watch back later, you can follow his steps as well to like the one-click install on Vultr, as well as the very free credits that he's offering, Vultr is offering for us this weekend. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. And we're going to go through it very quickly, basically everything that he did to get an OpenClaw instance up and running, but live. So I haven't done this ahead of time, so this is going to be brand new and live. You're going to be working through it with me. If you haven't already, though, I highly recommend you go to Global Hack Week challenges, and we can knock out some challenges just by coming to my stream. So first challenge is we can use Vultr, right? Sign up for Vultr. So if you haven't signed up for Vultr, you can sign up for Vultr just like Merdol showed us. And we're actually going to, if we have time at a later session, a later part of our series, we're going to set up GAFA as well to try out web scraping browser automations using their platform. And I'll show you how easy that is using OpenClaw. All right. Without further ado, let's hop over to our Vultr dashboard. So once you join Vultr and redeem the credits, you should see something like this. You should have, I believe, negative $250 balance potentially, depending on the code. I think the code Merdil gave us was $250, so please take a look. And then with that, I'm going to show you a couple ways to install OpenClaw. First, I'm going to show you the easy way. So this is the beginner-friendly one-click installation. It abstracts away all the complexities underneath and gives you a working OpenClaw in minutes. And then we're going to show you how to install it using the official guide step by step so that you can do it locally on your computers or on another cloud server. So first up, I'm going to head over to Compute. So this is where you can spin up all your cloud servers in the Vultr platform. Inside this platform, you can see a number of tools here, a number of services and products they provide. And we're going to use Compute. This is the virtual private server that you can have in the cloud. So we're going to click Deploy Server here. And you can choose dedicated CPU, cloud GPU, shared CPU. If you are just running OpenClaw, I would say shared CPU is more than enough to start, and you can always upgrade to dedicated CPU and GPU if you need the performance. So for shared CPU, and as I mentioned, like I recommend more RAM than less. just because you can give the agent some room to work with. And I like to go to around 4 GB of RAM to start. So maybe I'll just choose this one. Since I have the $100 free credit, I might just choose a higher tier just to make our demo run a little bit smoother. But you should be a-okay with a 4 GB RAM machine. So I will choose, I can just do cloud compute. Okay, so it looks like we have a few different options here. We'll just choose 4 vCPUs and 8 GB of RAM. All right. Has anyone worked with SSH before? I'll also show you how that works. That makes connecting to a server very, very easy. So inside the Vultr platform, we can go to SSH keys and add one. But we don't have to do that for now. I'll do that later. All right, so now I have selected the server. I can select a location. Where should I put? I will just pick, let's say, New York as a location. That's a pretty popular location there. Let's see if there's any difference. I think there's no difference. So I'll just pick New York for now. And I will disable automatic backups for now, just because I don't really need the backups for now. If I have critical data on it, I will definitely want that backup. And I'm going to hit continue. All right. So then just like that, you can spin up your cloud server. We're going to be doing this again. But for now, we're going to click Marketplace Apps. So from here, you can see all the pre-built one-click install images that Vultr has provided for us. So if you want to run a website, for example, you can do a WordPress marketplace app. Coolify is a very cool platform for app deployment. cPanel. And we have our trusty OpenClaw here. So we're going to try clicking on that, and then we're going to give it a name. So we'll say GHW Cloud OpenClaw as our server host name. That sounds good. And everything sounds good. I'm just going to click deploy. So this is going to take a couple minutes. What's happening behind the scenes is Vultr will spin up this, let's see, I think this is a Ubuntu server. I could be wrong, but it will have OpenClaw pre-installed on it so that we don't have to worry about installing it ourselves. Very, very easy experience for beginners if you're just starting out and if you want to try out OpenClaw for a little bit. And once you're done, you can just click it, delete. Well, it's still installing, but once it finishes installing, and you're done with it, you can just delete it very easily. So that's the advantage of cloud compute, also called virtual private servers in the cloud. They make it super easy for you to experiment with new things and not having to worry about installing locally and messing up your environment and things like that. So we can also go to Vultr OpenClaw. They have a website, they have a web page for it as well. So this page has some information. Okay, yeah, so it is definitely on Ubuntu 24.04 version. And you can see this is the OpenClaw information, installation information here. So, and this is the official supported version. It is currently on 2026 3.11. That's 3 days ago. Believe it or not, OpenClaw has already had 2 or 3 releases since then. It's moving so fast. So that's kind of one thing that you do lose out with the pre-built images. You'll have to go in there and upgrade as soon as you finish installing. All right, and just like that, our server is up. You can see it is up, and we can click on it to take a look. We have our OpenClaw, we have our IP address already set up, and we have our username and password as well for the virtual private server that we can use to log into. And Quackers, happy Pi Day. Thank you so much. Happy Pi Day, everybody. All right, we'll keep going here. And you can see behind the scenes, it actually did two things. So remember when we said there are two components of OpenClaw. First is you need to be able to run it locally. You need to be able to run it in the cloud, and that's what this is. And then secondly, you need to be able to connect to a large language model. Then that will be the brain of the OpenClaw installation. And how does it work behind the scenes? If you actually go to Vultr, they have a service called serverless inference. And that basically gives you access to large language models. So it has created a Vultr OpenClaw. In This is called serverless inference, and through it we can interact with a number of open source large language model, open weight large language models. So if we take a look at the prompt here, you can see all the available models that we have. So all of these are open source large language models that we have access to through Vultr serverless inference AI platform. And we can test it out. So for example, we can use Kimi 2.5 and we can say, I'm not sure if it will know, but what is Major League Hacking? So this is kind of hitting the API and see if it knows about Major League Hacking. Okay, great. And it worked. Major League Hacking is the official global league for student hackathons and community of student developers. That is wonderful. Next up, I'm going to head over to chat. This is another place you can test out different models that are available on Vultr Serverless Inference, and they all come with these amazing models. So I chose Minimax for this one, but you have access to a lot of different models here. And I can ask follow-up questions as well. So this will give us a chat history. Why did I doubt if it will know? I should not have doubt. You are so right. All right. So now we have Global Hack Week Cloud OpenClaw set up. We can head over to the instance directly. So we can open our OpenClaw instance by clicking Launch OpenClaw. And you can see the sign-in box right here. So this is all happening behind the scenes. Vultr is setting up the reverse proxy and setting up the connection using this URL here. And it's giving you the username and password as well to interact with the instance. So we're going to copy the username and password here and log in. All right. And for the stream, do y'all like light mode or dark mode? Let me know in chat which one is a little bit easier on the eyes. Anyways, I'm gonna try out. So we have dark in the chat. Thank you. Light is better for stream. Oh, we have a little competition here. Who's gonna be the tiebreaker? I'm gonna type out the question. What is Major League Hacking? And this is now our OpenClaw agent responding. So first of all, it's through an error because it's missing Brave API key because the default web search requires an API key from one of the search providers, including Brave. So that's no good. And we'll need to set that up manually as well. But here is the OpenClaw web interface, gateway interface, and you can take a look at some of these features here. Overview, instances, sessions, usage, and cron jobs, and all that. So this is everything that we'll go through in a little bit. Okay. Once I configure the Brave API key, I'll be able to do web searches. And under agents, you can also, or actually under config, you can also see all the configurations that are loaded here. And you can see the default model that was configured, which is Kimi 2.5 model. Right. All right, so let's look at chat one more time. So we have dark 1, light 1, dark 2, light 2, dark 3, light 3. So we still have a tie right now. Maybe we'll toggle between every 5 minutes or something. Just kidding. If anyone has any thoughts or tie breaks, please drop in chat. But the default model is, you can see here, configured to be Vultr, and then it's Moonshot AI's Kimi 2.5 model. So if you look at, like, why did it pick Kimi 2.5 model? There's actually a reason for it. The creator of, let's see if I can find the article one more time, because I read about it. Best models for OpenClaw. And peak best models for OpenClaw. X.com maybe. I might not be able to find it now, but there's a model ranking for OpenClaw, and Kimi 2.5 is the highest ranking open weight model that gives OpenClaw the best results for tool calling. So definitely check it out. All right. That's pretty much it. That was pretty easy, like one-click install. But today we're gonna actually do it the more difficult way, which is step-by-step self-hosting, so that you can actually install yourself, because you might not have access to Vultr credits in the future, or if you might want more control of installing yourself. So we're actually going to be setting it up locally or using another cloud provider. And we are going to actually follow the getting started guides from the official OpenClaw website to get it all set up. So with that, we'll need a machine. So if you look, we already have a Global Hack Week Cloud OpenClaw machine. And this is the built-in OpenClaw one-click marketplace app, right? So we didn't have to do anything to get it installed. It's just literally one click. But I'm going to deploy a new machine. So I'm going to click deploy here and deploy a brand new machine. So this one, I will also put it in New York just for funsies, and I will pick the same plan, which is the 4 CPUs, 8 gigabytes of RAM. And just like before, I will disable automatic backups for now, just because it's for our demo here, and click configure. And I will use Ubuntu version 2404, because that is the latest long-term support version that we have. The next one, fun fact, the next one is coming out soon, because Ubuntu follows a 2-year release schedule for their long-term service support versions. You can see 2204, that's April 2022, April 2024, and the next one is coming April 2026. So look out for that one. And then one thing I need to do for cloud servers is to be able to connect to it very easily. And you'll have to have an SSH key to connect to it very easily. So I'm going to create an SSH key and add it to my account. This is very similar to all the cloud providers out there. So you can read more about it in the documentation. And the way you can add a SSH key, that's actually the wrong app. I didn't mean to go to that one. Terminal. Actually, I've been using CMux. I've been using this app. This is a very interesting app. I might show it real quick. CMux is a command line terminal designed for AI coding. Very, very easy to use. It has workspaces on the left, and it has tabs on the right. And it's very, very easy, tight integration with all the coding CLIs. So I might just show this real quick. And I'm going to generate an SSH key. And with that, you can use SSH keygen to just generate an SSH key that you can use forever. So I still have my key from a long time ago. So I click SSH keygen, and it's going to generate a key pair for us. We can just keep everything as the default. Oh, looks like I already have a key, so I don't have to do it again. If it's your first time, you can just click yes, 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 and keep going. until the keys are generated at this URL or at this path. But I can actually print out the key using cat, and keep in mind we'll want to print out the public key. You can read more about public and private key cryptography, but here we're going to print out the public key, and public key is just the key that you can give to the cloud providers to add to your servers so that you can connect to it. Question, do we also need to configure the OpenClaw with an LLM like Cloud? Yes, you do have to configure it. That is the brain of the OpenClaw. And today we're going to show you a couple free options. We talked about Kimi 2.5, and we'll also show you another option on Open Router afterwards. So I'm going to copy this key here and paste it in. So I will just say MOH demo and click add SSH key. With that, Vultr or any other cloud platform will be able to recognize us recognize that it's us when we're trying to connect to the servers. And just like that, I can come back here and hopefully refresh and select the key. So it looks like I lost my selection. I'll do it one more time. New York, $40 a month, 8 gigabytes of CPU, disable automatic backups for now, configure, and select Ubuntu 24.04, select my API or SSH key here, and put my OpenClaw. I'll use that as my host name here, and that all looks good. I'm going to click deploy. So this is going to be different from the last server because the last server is completely one-click installation. All right, question in chat. Does showing your SSH key pose any security vulnerability? No, it does not, because I only showed my public key. And my private key is still secure in my folder. I haven't shown yet. All right. So this is my public key. .pub is the key part here. And as a matter of fact, everybody's SSH keys are public. So if you go to github.com /way, and you can do way.keys. You can just put .keys after github.com, and all their SSH keys, public keys, will be shown here. So that's actually an intentional design of SSH key because you're giving everybody a public key. So anytime you sign something or you connect to it using your private key, they can know that it's you who's connecting. You can actually replace this with anybody else on GitHub. Let me just see if I can find somebody, GitHub user. I don't know. What's a famous GitHub user? Linus. Okay, so that's the creator of Linux. We can do .keys, and you can see his SSH key as well. This is the public key, of course. Hope that answers your question. It's like a signature. Yes, indeed. It is like a signature, and you can read more about it. All right, with that, it is currently running. All right. Question, can someone use that to pose as you? They cannot, because only I have the private key. So anytime there's a key, there are two components, right? SSH key, private, public. It's called a key pair. That's a better way to explain it. So let's see if there's a better chart here I can look at. Yeah, essentially, for the key pair, the server can say, I trust this key using the public key. And then anytime I connect to it, I'm going to use my private key to sign my connection so that the server can validate that, oh, it matches up with the public key. But I won't go into too much detail just because that's not the topic of the day. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of understanding behind how that works. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm glad I could help. So now I have my OpenClaw here. I can log into it. There are a couple ways you can log into it. You can either use console, like you can just click on that, and you can see a web interface where you can connect to it using the credentials shown on this page, like the root credentials. But I am actually going to use SSH since I created the key. I will do this, do something like this, and I will connect to it. So the command to connect to the server is SSH and username. So in this case, the username is root, as you can see here, username root at the IP address. So that's the syntax for connecting. And since I already have my key generated in the default location, it knows which key to use, and I can click enter. If it's the first time, it's going to ask you, okay, do you trust the server? And I can say yes. And just like that, I am in. I'm in the Ubuntu server 2404. Perfect. All right. Now that I'm here, I can do anything I want. I can do pwd. My working directory is root/root. I can do ping. I can do get my IP address, something like that. This is one of the IP. This is the IP address I have. You can see it matches up with my instance. So now I have a server. I can do anything I want with this server. But the goal for today is to install OpenClaw. So we're going to come down here and click or copy here to install OpenClaw. And we're going to paste that in and click install. Can I make it a little bit bigger? Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit bigger for you so you can see a little bit better, and click install. All right, just like that, it's installing. Give me 1 second while it's installing. I'll be all right. Looks like it's still going here. So far, it's installed Node.js 22. It's installed Git. Git is already installed, and it's installing the latest version of OpenClaw 2026 3.13. And it's now finalizing the setup. Excellent. I can go back to our OpenClaw documentation and go to their actual documentation site, which is right here, and go to get started. And let's just take a look and see if we're doing everything right. So they recommend Node 24, but Node 22 should work as well. We just ran this command. And we're going to do onboard. So that looks like the next step. So we'll do this together, and you can install it on your local computer. I recommend Ubuntu if you have it. If you're using Windows, I think the WSL Windows Subsystem Linux is preferred. So just double check that as well. You can also use Docker, of course. So there are quite a few different installation options here. And next, we're going to run the onboarding wizard together. So let's copy that command and take a look here. All right, so let's take a look at this onboarding. I think it's already kicked off the onboarding wizard. Let's read the security warning. So one of you asked about security earlier. So this is a very important disclaimer if security is of your concern. It's a hobby project, still in beta, okay. Not a hostile multi-tenant boundary by default, yep. If you're not comfortable, there are a number of security hardening capabilities as outlined in their documentation, so you can feel free to check those out as well. So here are some recommended baseline. All right, I think it's time to switch to light mode. Do you guys agree? Light theme. Actually, I don't think I can switch it halfway in the session. So we're stuck with the dark mode here for this one at least. All right, so understand. Yes, I understand. And we're going to do a quick start. Let's do a quick start. And the first thing we need to do, as you can see, is create or connect to a model or auth provider. There are a few different options that you, quite a few different options that you can choose from as far as model and auth provider. And today we're going to choose custom provider. So you can see it accepts any OpenAI or Anthropic compatible endpoint. And that's exactly what Vultr provides under serverless inference. So we'll create a new inference and I will call it my OpenClaw. And you can see all the list of available models that they have here. And we'll focus on Kimi 2.5, and we might also try out Minimax M 2.5. That's also pretty good. So we'll take a look at those and create. And just remember, you can use any OpenAI compatible or Anthropic compatible endpoints. So that basically opens up your possibilities to use any serverless inference endpoints. Question, OpenClaw was acquired by OpenAI, right? OpenClaw remains a open source project as far as I know. The owner was hired by OpenAI, but I don't know if they actually took control over the repo as well. So I might have to check on that after. All right, so just like that, we have our serverless inference, my OpenClaw, and we can look at the inference documentation as well. And we even have our API key right here. They make it super easy for you to use. So if you look at the documentation, it is literally API vultrinference.com. And if we look at our previous instance, where'd it go? Did I close it? Vultr OpenClaw. Let's take a look. If we look at, this is our previous instance from the one-click install. Actually, I need to log into it. I shouldn't have closed it. So let's just go back and log into this one. This is the previous one-click install. We can take a look at the configuration there to kind of help us understand exactly how it's working. Oh, it's here. Perfect. I can click config and raw, and you can see it is using the Vultr serverless inference endpoint right here. So let's go ahead and do the same in our instance using the same Vultr serverless inference, and we'll do custom provider here. And the API base URL is going to be this, api.vultrinference.com/v1, and paste the API key now. And we will find our key right here. And this is OpenAI compatible. Yep. So we'll click enter there. And the model ID. So we have a few different options to choose from, as you can see here. And we're going to be using Moonshot AI slash Kimi K2.5. How can I select it? I'm gonna just cheat a little bit and then just select it like this, and then paste that in. Verification successful. So I'm going to call it Vultr as my endpoint ID. And the model instance, we'll just call it the same as the model ID, which is Moonshot AI slash Kimi K2.5. Looks like I can't use a slash, so I'll just say Vultr Kimi K2.5, something like that. All right, just like that, it is done. We have our model configured and connected. Let's go to questions in chat here. We pay for OpenClaw. So it depends. If you're using a cloud server, you have to pay for the cloud server. And depending on the large language model you want to use, as we've seen here, I guess the list went away, but you can choose any large language model provider or even host locally. So the cost varies depending on how you host your OpenClaw instance and how you host the large language model or connect to the large language model. All right. So this is the second key part of OpenClaw, which is channels, right? We talked about channels, and even on their official website, we saw that it can connect to all kinds of different channels, WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord. And for this workshop, we're going to use Discord because we are fans of Discord. So we're going to head over to their documentation and go to channels and go to Discord. So this documentation page has a lot of great information on Discord, how to use Discord, how to connect to Discord. So very, very, very useful things here. All right. And with that, we're going to create a new application with a bot. First, let me see if I can log into Discord using one of my stream accounts. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat here. Discord. All right, let's see if this works. Are you human? I am human. All right. Okay, I have my Discord logged in, so that is excellent. This is my Discord account I use for streaming. How do I close this? Hide this. All right, perfect. Okay, so now let's follow the instructions here. You'll need to create a new application with a bot. Add the bot to your server and pair it to OpenClaw. We recommend adding your bot to your own private server. That sounds good. Create one first. All right, so let's first create a server as it said. I will, how do I create a server? Actually, there, right there, add a server. Create my own for me and my friends. GHW, OpenClaw. We need a picture here. So GHW. Global Hack Week. Picture. Logo, I mean. Okay, so let's just use this. Looks good. Save. To my computer, GHW logo. And I can upload. Perfect. I'm gonna invite everybody to it in a little bit. And this is my server. So this is the server we'll be working on. Yeah, let's keep going to the next steps. Now I need to go to the Discord developer portal and create a new application. So let's head over there. Skip and create a new application. And we're going to call it GHW OpenClaw. I'm a human. Perfect. And I will upload the app icon, the same icon here for now. Great. Save. We're just following along with this guide. You can also follow along on your own afterwards. All right, now we need to click bot on the sidebar and set username to whatever you call your OpenClaw agent. So let's go to bot on the left-hand side here. And I want to call this Jewel, the jump wire jellyfish. Maybe just Jewel for now. I don't want it to be too long. And jellyfish emoji. What's a good jellyfish emoji? I'll use this one. This this is not free. It requires a license. So let's do something free. I don't want to get sued. Usage rights. Creative Commons license. Wikimedia. This has to be. Wait, why do they all say licensable? Okay. Discord emoji jellyfish. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is open, so I can use this one. Maybe I'll use this one. Maybe I'll just use this one. All right. We're spending time on the most important thing here. Getting our jellyfish just right. And uploading the icon. Jellyfish. Perfect. Now we have Jewel, our jump wire jellyfish. Save. All right, let's go back to chat for a moment here. Where can I see how much swag I have earned? You can ask at Today in Global Hack Week. That's happening soon. But the gist is you will receive an email after today ends, after sometime in the afternoon or early tomorrow. And that's going to tell you everything that you've done in day one of Global Hack Week. And it's also going to explain to you what is remaining for swags if you still need to complete some challenges. And Orion, thank you for that compliment. Now, we have completed that step. Let's keep going. Now we need to enable privileged intent. This is very important because you want the bot to be able to message and you want the bot to be able to read your message. And that's very important because otherwise you can't really do anything. So we'll enable message content intent, server members intent, and presence intent as explained here. So scroll down to privileged intent, server member intent, message content intent. Sorry, this is the presence intent, and this is the under the privileged gateway intents section. And I'm going to click save. Perfect. Let's go to the next step. Copy your bot token. So this is very important. We're going to click reset token and save it. So I'm going to click reset token. Yes. It's going to ask for the one-time code because this is very sensitive stuff we're doing here. And just like that, I have a token. I'll just keep this page open for now, and we'll copy it from here afterwards. All right, so last step, generate a invite. Okay, so maybe I should copy it somewhere so that I don't lose it. I'll create a new tab maybe. Discord bot token. I'll just keep it in this terminal for now. And then I'm going to head over to OAuth 2 as requested here. Click OAuth 2 on the sidebar, generate invite URL with the right permissions. So we'll need bot and application commands permission. And then we'll have to enable all these. All right, so let's scroll down to bot and application commands. Applications commands. View channel, send message, read message history. So let's do it 3 at a time. All right. View channels, send messages. I already forgot. Read message history, embed links. Read message history, embed links, attach files. I want to also give it permission to like manage threads and things like that, create threads. That'd be really nice. Add reactions. I want to give it more permissions, so I will also let it create threads, send messages in threads, manage. I'll just give it everything for now. I don't really care about that right now. Use emojis is going to be important. I think that's good enough for now. But depending on your comfort level, you can decide what to grant it. I also want TTS messages. Yeah, definitely. Okay, maybe I'll let us. I think that's good. Create polls. That might be a useful one actually. And bypass slow mode. That sounds good. And now we have a guild install link. You can see down below here, and there's the generated URL. So if we scroll down here, we're going to paste it in the browser, select my server, and click continue to connect. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, and we're gonna put it on the GHW OpenClaw server and click authorize. I am human, yes. Awesome, success. And just like that, if we go back to our server, you can see Joule has just landed. It is now on our server. It's still offline because we haven't connected it up with OpenClaw yet, but it has been installed on our server. That's excellent. Okay, now we need to enable developer mode so I can copy IDs. This is going to be useful when we configure the permissions to the Discord server. We're going to click User Settings, Advanced, and toggle Developer Mode. So Settings, Advanced, and toggle on Developer Mode. Yep, that sounds good. And then now I can right-click my server icon to copy server ID. Let's do that. The server, right-click, copy server ID. I'll just save it in this terminal window here. I thought this is how you do a comment. Maybe not. Is it that? Okay, I can do that. Wait, it's fine. If you all know how to do a comment in Zeesh, let me know. I thought it's hash, but maybe not. All right. Next step is copy my own avatar and copy user ID because it needs to know who I am as well. So I'll click my avatar here. I have an AWS avatar for some reason right now, so let's ignore that. Let's just click copy user ID. And we will pop in here. It's kind of ugly. I'm sorry. All right. We're done with step 5. Now we're going to click allow DMs from server members so that the bot can DM me. I'm going to do server icon, privacy settings, and toggle on direct messages. So go to server settings. Where is that? Server settings. What is it under? Privacy settings. I don't see it. Access? No. Moderation? Where is the privacy settings? Does anybody know? Is it just under the server profile? No. Server rules, safety setup. Can't seem to find it for some reason. That's actually pretty important. We need to be able to DM. That's one of the features. So let's try again. Oh, okay. It's not under server settings. Is it under privacy settings? Okay, it's a different tab. Okay, never mind. Click here. Privacy settings. There it is. All right, so we do allow direct messages, so that is all good. All right, we're done with step 6 as well. All right, now we're going to set up our OpenClaw. So let's head over to our terminal now, and we will, how do I guess we'll just kind of switch between the tabs for now, and we'll do Discord API. Oh, shoot. Did I connection reset by peer? That's not good. Okay, so maybe we'll need to start onboarding again. It took us a little bit too long to get to this point. So let's do the onboarding one more time. So to get started, and then we'll do onboarding. Okay, yes. So this is the same thing we saw earlier. We'll do a quick start, and we already added our, I think, custom provider. But I'm just going to skip for now and see if that's okay. Filter models by provider. Okay, so maybe we should do that one more time, just so that we have everything working in one place. All right, quick start, and then we'll do the same as before, which is custom provider. And the API base URL is from our Vultr instance here. I'll close a few tabs. Under here, serverless inference, and here is the URL. But we need the v1 at the end. Paste my API key, and here's my API key. OpenAI compatible, and then the model we talked about using Kimi K2.5. Okay, and then this is going to be called Vultr. Vultr Kimi K2.5. Okay, that's done. Now go to Discord. Okay, so I've already done these, so I'm going to click enter Discord bot token and paste that in. Discord channel access, yes. Open, allow all channels for now is fine. So this is when, like, if you are trying to lock it down, you'll want to only allow communications on a few Discord channels that you allow list instead of just open it to all. But for our purposes, we'll just do open to all. And then now this is a very important piece that was missing in our one-click installation, which is the search, right? Web search. Choose a provider and paste your API key. It's really, really nice to have a search. So why don't we head over to Brave Search and actually get a key? So let's head over to Brave Search. I need to be quick though. I don't want the SSH connection to break again. So let's do this. And then we'll go to Brave Search setup and sign up. I think it's free if I'm not mistaken, but let's try it out. Sign up. Oh, my password is no good. Okay. I'll use a different password. Give me 1 second. Okay. I'm just registering for Brave Search. Register. I am a human. Trust. Okay. Verify email address. Sounds good. I will go to my email. Actually, right here. Refresh. Verify. Done. Login. Login. And we can grab the Brave API key in the dashboard, choose search plan, and generate an API key. So I can do that. Oh, I need another code. Okay. Okay, and then we can go to API keys and see plans. I see. So it does cost money. It costs $5 in free credits every month. Okay, so I guess it's $5 free. Let's get started. I see. So we do have to pay. That's a bummer. I'll just put in a card real quick. But you do get $5 in credits, 1,000 searches for free every month. So just keep that in mind. But let me see if I can get a card real quick for this. In the meantime, if you have any questions whatsoever, please drop them in the chat here. So this is for Brave, GHW. Okay, I have a card I can use. Do not save information. All right, so we have a question in chat here. Any free alternatives for search? Good question. So this is a question we can ask our OpenClaw afterwards. Let's shelf on that, and then we can ask OpenClaw after once we have it all set up. Okay, so I have added a card just to verify my identity, but Brave grants $5 a month credits, so this is for free. And you can actually click set usage limit to, I don't know, 5, so that you never go over. I guess this is, the free limit, right? So let me let me just look at that card one more time. Make sure we're all good. Okay. Okay, so now we can get our API key. Add API key. GHW, my OpenClaw is my key name. Subscription to search. Copy and head back. We'll use Brave search. You can take a look at some of the other options as well. So for here, we're going to use Brave search and configure skills now. Sure. So you can install skills for your OpenClaw instance. We'll install a couple here just as an example. We'll install Claw Hub, which helps you install more skills. We will install, what is GIF? GIF sounds good. We can get some GIFs. We can use, if you have a Gemini API key, you can generate images as well using Nano Banana, Obsidian. So there are some pretty popular skills here. But for now, we'll just keep these two, Claw Hub and GIF grep. We'll add more later. All right, so we'll click enter, and then preferred node manager for skills. My personal favorite is PNPM, so I'm just gonna pick that. But PNPM is not installed. Shoot, that was a mistake. I need to install PNPM before I ask it to use it. So we can do something like this to install it. Okay, I'm not gonna do Google. No, I don't have those keys. Okay, I'll skip for now. Boot MD, command logger. Sure, I'll just install all of them for now. Why not? Gateway service installed. All right, this is great. This is great. This is the last step. Gateway token share with stored here. So this is the main configuration file that we need to look at. We can also view the token. OpenClaw Doctor. So I did say we should run the Doctor real quick after we've fixed our PNPM installation. So OpenClaw Doctor, let's fix that afterwards. But there are two options you can see. How do you want to hatch your bot? We can hatch in TUI and we can open a web UI. Which option do we want? So TUI is a command line interface. It's a very nice, neat command line interface. And then we can also do the web UI. Let's take a look at the official guide here and decide what we want to do here. So getting started, gateway status. So I think the recommendation is the dashboard on the web. Like you can run the control UI. But maybe I'll do TUI for now. Wake up, my friend. All right, great. What is on your mind? Wow, this is wonderful. So, um, what is on my mind? Um, let's see. What who are you? What's your personality? Still becoming. Um, help. Okay. Help flesh out. Let me just say, you are Jewel. Full name is Jewel, the jump wire jellyfish. You are a helpful assistant for Major League Hacking, hackathons, events, Global Hack Week. For hackers at Major League Hacking hackathons, events, Global Hack Week, and MLH Fellowship. Is that good? You can customize the personality, the soul, as they call it, of the agent using the agent itself. So let's do that. Oh, I love this. Jewel the jump wire jellyfish floating around hackathons, helping hackers bridge the gap. Let's make this official. Excellent. Did you make it official? How did you make it official? Okay, I'm logging this to memory so that I know I become Jewel. Okay, so I'm also going to ask you, can you search the internet for the upcoming MLH hackathons? I think by default, some of the tools are kind of blocked. That's why it's not working. Continue. Okay, so it's not working. All right, let's fix it up. This happens, right? So OpenClaw Doctor. First, let me install PNPM. Install PNPM here. Boom. Okay, it is installed. And then we'll run OpenClaw Doctor just to make sure everything's on up and up. So you can see in the Doctor notes here, Discord DMs are locked. Yep. Okay, what else? Memory search is enabled. We will disable memory search for now. Okay, so we're going to actually look at their configuration file and take a look. Error opening terminal. Okay, so this is the OpenClaw configuration file, as you can see here. We have our first agent, the default agent, using the Vultr's Moonshot AI. And we have our OpenClaw workspace. That's at this URL. And we can see our configurations here. We can see our Discord configuration with our bot token, and group policy is open, so anyone in any group can message. We have our gateway that's looped back right now, 18789. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to open up the TUI. So the shortcut is this OpenClaw TUI. This is going to give us access to the OpenClaw instance right here. I can do a new, modify the configuration so you have access to execute any command and access to the internet. Full access to any command and access to the internet. That's an unusual request. Yeah, you notice like it's, it kind of stops a lot. So I don't know what that is. We'll have to debug it. It could be like it's stepping out of its boundaries. So let's just modify the configuration manually. Actually, let's first set up the web gateway. So we can go to the documentation real quick and see if we can set that up. So we set up Discord, that's all good. Now we want to do the web, right? We want to do the web interface. Open the control UI. Web interface. We can also do like a public internet, exposed to the public internet. So this is where like people will say it's kind of risky because you're exposing your port to the public internet. If there's any bugs, they can hack into your machine very easily. So we're gonna do a little trick here using SSH. Let's see, OpenClaw, SSH forward. Remote access. Okay, so there is a page for it. SSH tunnel. Yep, so this is what we need to do. Create a local tunnel to the remote gateway so that we can access it. This is all for security, to be honest. So let's just do that. Actually, I need to exit, start a new SSH session with this configuration. So this way, we can access it locally using this token. Remote access. Yep. If you're running on the same computer, like you're just deploying on your computer that you have locally, you don't have to go through this. It's more for okay. Oh, I think it's working. I just killed it. All right, I think it's working. So let's head over to this URL here. Okay, it's working. It's working. So now I can put in my gateway token. So this is all for security. By the way, you can disable this all the security if you don't want. This is the gateway token from the configuration file. That's a one-time, or that's a secret token that's generated just for your instance. And click connect. Okay, I'm in, and I will use light mode for this one. Okay, now I can head over to config. I probably should have saved that password. Let's do that. And we can do like a raw configuration. Click reveal to, okay, there it goes. Tools, web search. Yep, we have web search tools. We have per channel user session. We have Discord set up. All right, let's see if Discord works. Speaking of Discord, since we have it running, let's head over to our Discord server. And you can see Joule is up and running. So now I can try something like, Joule, what model are you? Let me change my icon here, actually, while I'm at it. I'll just do Global Hack Week for now. Okay, and Joule is working. You can see Joule is replying. All right, that's great. That's great. Can you search the internet for latest events from MLH 2026 season? All right, so as it's thinking, we're gonna head, actually I didn't tag Joule, so by default you have to tag it for it to trigger, so I can do something like this. And it's thinking, and it's reacting with different emojis. You can see it's working. By the way, if anyone has any questions you'd like me to ask Joule, please drop in chat. I'll also send an invite to this server at the next session so everyone can play with it. Okay. As Joule is doing the search, we can actually go to sessions, I think, to take a look. So you can see we have Discord channel hashtag general. It's happening right now, and it's calling the tool, web search tool. And there's tool output with some events happening from the Brave search. And it's using a web fetch to fetch the MLH season 2026 events. And it has responded. So I'm going to say, Joule, any luck? It looks like the Joule is kind of pausing quite a bit, which is not the behavior I want. Maybe we'll need to try a different model. Any luck? Okay, there it is. So it's able to fetch the URL and provide a list of hackathons that are happening. But it didn't reply in Discord here. So that is not a good sign. So let's try it one more time. Please resend the events here. Refresh. Compaction. Yeah, part of the reason could be this model context window is pretty small. so it's not going to work very well. But oh, just like that, it worked. It's able to fetch all the requests, all the events from the ML's 2026 season. And I can reason with it. What are some events, list all the events happening in India over the next 2 months. Okay, I need to remember to add Jewel. So, but you can turn it off. Like if you don't want it to require a mention and just have Jewel listen to all messages, you can do that very easily as well. Okay. In the meantime, looks like, it looks like it got all the events here. This is very interesting. It's not responding. And we can ask Jewel about that and see if it can help us understand what's happening behind the scenes. Yeah, it looks like it keeps stop responding, which is not good. Let's try a different model. And the nice thing about this is we can easily switch models. So let's go to Minimax M2.5. And we can either do that manually or we can ask Joule to do it, but we can also do it manually. So all we have to do, let me close out some tabs. I have too many things open here. Too many things open. Okay, so we can go to configuration, config, raw. Okay. And we're going to change the model. Yeah, I can do something like that. And just like that, we changed the model for our primary agent here. And I'm going to click apply. Oh, I didn't click save. So what's happening now is OpenClaw is going to restart its gateway, load the latest configuration, and I'm going to click connect one more time. It might take a little bit of time for it to start back up, but we can always, if it doesn't come back up, we can use the doctor. Maybe we made a mistake. Okay. Let's connect to a SSH. Oh, is it back up? Okay, it's back up. It just took a second. And we can take a look at our agents. And it's indeed using Minimax M2.5 now. And let's go back to our Discord. Gateway restart. Okay, perfect. New, Jewel. What's your model? Minimax. Okay, perfect. Well, we'll keep going. Let's ask again. List all the MLH events happening over the next 2 months. And we can go back to our OpenClaw controls panel here under sessions. We can take a closer look at the session, and you can see the tools that are being called. That's the web search, web fetch, all the events from the MLH link, tool output with all the website information. And just like that, we have some results, Hackbyte and Hacktropica, happening in India next month. All right, that's great. So that brings us to this question here from Beep Beep. What is the goal for part 2? Great question. So if we look at our agenda for part 1, we've accomplished most of them. We had a quick introduction to OpenClaw. We did a one-click setup on Vultr, and we did our step-by-step self-hosting using a virtual machine in Vultr as well. You can also use the same self-hosting steps on your own machine or any other cloud hosting platform. We also connected to the free large language model APIs. So in this example, we connected to the Vultr's serverless inference. And for the second part, I'm going to show you how to connect that to OpenRouter. And there are some free models on OpenRouter as well. And afterwards, we'll continue with our OpenClaw setup. We'll show you, give you a deeper dive around all the options on the control panels here, where you can learn about the different agent capabilities, the skills, nodes, cron jobs, some of the more advanced features of OpenClaw, and maybe even integrate with some third-party APIs or write your own skill or control the browser of some sort. So there are a few different options that we have, but that's kind of the general overview of part 2. And if you have anything you want to see on like OpenClaw to do, please let me know in chat. And also in the next session, I'm going to share the invite link for this server once we have it all set up and tightened up so that everyone can log on to the Discord, come into the server, and try out Joule for yourself. I did miss one thing. I also want to give Joule some memory of MLH specific information like MLH events, because after all, like we want Joule to be a very helpful bot, AI agent that has knowledge of all the MLH guidelines, the event membership for applications, for organizers, and for hackers. So hope that helps. With that, does anybody have any other questions? We're going to be taking a quick break, and we'll have Varshini with us to run our GitHub Copilot, Hacking with GitHub Copilot workshop, along with Today in Global Hack Week, Day 2, to give you an overview of the next sessions that are happening. That is on Day 2. That's the first event here. Intro to Agent Mode in GitHub Copilot and Today in Global Hack Week. So you can ask her any questions about GitHub Copilot, about Global Hack Week, or anything MLH in general. And after that, we will hop back on in about an hour and a half to our part 2 of OpenClaw in the cloud. All right. Samuel, thank you so much for sticking here with us, and I hope it was useful. We showed you, I'd like to do a recap. So here's a Q&A. Feel free to drop any questions in chat. But I like to do a recap and key takeaways after every session, just so that we can have like a recap of what we learned over the last 2 hours. So we first learned about OpenClaw, what it is, and what are some capabilities of it. We learned about OpenClaw connection to different large language models, all the capabilities. We connected it with Vultr. We spun up and let me backtrack. We spun up a one-click install Vultr OpenClaw instance that worked pretty well. We spun our own Vultr virtual private server to set up OpenClaw ourselves, kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting behind the scenes that will be necessary if you're hosting it on your own cloud server or your own device. So that's why I'm doing this session to walk you through setting that up and kind of show you some of the struggles that I encounter, and maybe that will help you when you set up your instance. And then we looked at some of the free large language model inference APIs, and here we're using the Vultr serverless inference. We're going to be using OpenRouter in the next session to show you even more capabilities of different models. What else? And we set up OpenClaw through SSH. So if it's your first time working with SSH, we also kind of explain to you what SSH is, how to generate a private public key pair, and how the public key is available for anyone on the internet to see and authenticate you, including the OpenClaw virtual private server that we spun up. It uses that to authenticate you. And then, yeah, and then we connected with Discord. That was a big one. We signed up for a new Discord developer app, and we created a new server, installed everything, connected that with OpenClaw, gave it permissions. So in the end, we were able to get a working chat with Joule using this Minimax M2.5 model through Vultr right now. So in just a couple hours, we were able to accomplish so much. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't already, play with OpenClaw on your own machine. Maybe this weekend, since Vultr is giving us free credits, you can set it up on the Vultr one-click install, and you can try it out and see if you like it. And in the next session, we're going to show you more. So that includes everything I talked about when I was answering this question. When I was answering the last question, actually. So thank you, Quackers, and thank you, everybody, so much for coming. If there are no more questions, please take a couple minutes to provide some feedback about this session. Was it useful? How can we help you to improve the session even more? And what are some of the things that you like to see this session in the future? Or what are some things you liked so that we can continue doing those to make sure you get the most out of Global Hack Week? So here is the link to the Global Hack Week feedback form. We'll give everybody a couple more minutes here for any questions and answers before we drop. But if not, I will show you what's coming up next. As we kind of explained already, that is going to be the intro to agent mode in GitHub Copilot, led by Varshini, not Wei from MLH, but Varshini from MLH, as well as the Today in Global Hack Week combo. So it's going to be a combo session, and you'll be able to learn a lot and also engage with Varshini there. With that, thank you so much, everybody, for coming, and hope to see you in an hour and 35 minutes. And if not, you can always watch back on YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care.